I'm on the movie, been the foundation. It's time to move. 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 Yeah, it's time to move. 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 It's time to move.
Hello everyone, D here with DJR Union, and today is going to be the first day of DJR 3D. That's right, today is one of D's dangerous decks. That's right, today's deck is going to be a little dangerous because it's featuring the one and only Kenshin. I figured might as well go ahead and start off with Kenshin considering how the set just dropped, and yeah, I'm really excited to show this one for you. I call this deck, Oops, All Kenshin. So to get things started off, we're going to be running Kenshin at 0, the step Kenshin right here, and we have 4 of these Kenshins because let's be honest, you gotta have zeros in your deck or else you're not really going to be able to play the game at all. So thankfully we have these 4 Kenshins here to get things started off. You can play them in the front line if you want and then step them back after you apply a little bit of pressure, and it really shows off Kenshin's flexibility and his movement capabilities with him having step. He's able to move very quickly. He is one of the faster swordsmen out there, so because of that he does have that step ability to help him stay on his feet to keep your opponent on their toes as well as you are applying pressure. Now, unfortunately, with many decks, we only get 1-0 card to go with the character and the theme of the deck. However, in the case of this deck, there were 2 Kenshins that were dropped in the set, which are at 0 energy, which is great. So this Kenshin, he does not have the step ability. However, he does have 3k BP. 3k BP, that's really good. That gives you a good amount of BP to apply a good amount of pressure for like the entirety of the early game, because a 3k BP character, there's no other 0 card out there that's going to be able to get over the 3k BP requirement that Kenshin has to hit, or that they have to hit in order to block Kenshin successfully. And if they do block him, they are pushed back to the energy line, so they are able to put out a lot of blockers and chump blockers to block this Kenshin in order to push them back to the energy line to protect their life just a little bit longer. That is the only downfall to Kenshin, but it's not that big of a downfall once we start talking about some of the later cards that are included in this deck. Now, Kenshin isn't Kenshin without the one woman that he truly cares for the most, and that's Kaoru. And we're only running 2 of her, and the reason why we're running her in this deck is because honestly, I needed another 0 to fill out the zeros. I didn't want to just run 8 zeros because that's a really low amount of zeros, and I didn't want to take that risk. In fact, I wanted to make 12 zeros, so as a result, we're also going to be running 2 Megamis. And the reason why I'm adding in 2 Megamis is because she gives a character 1k BP when she's played, therefore she's able to buff up a lot of Kenshins if they're not able to reach over a lot of characters on the opponent's field. And I have the Kaoru here because of the canonicity of Kenshin and Kaoru's romance. So because of that, I needed to have Kaoru in the deck. I couldn't put Kenshin alone with Megami, it just didn't sit right with me. So I had to do the canonicity of Kaoru. I just had to, but Megami was the main goal because she gets the ability to buff up a Kenshin, and yeah, so I had to put them together in this deck just because I really wanted that canonicity to work well together. So next we're going to move over to the raids because I do want to talk about them before we start getting into the actual core of the deck, which is, surprise, surprise, more Kenshin. But the first raid we're going to be doing is the starter deck Kenshin for Energy 1 action. Of course, like I mentioned before, all these Kenshins are going to have this ability where instead of an opponent dying, they're pushed back to the energy line, so I'm not going to bring that up anymore. But what this Kenshin does have is impact, and when he's played, he forcefully moves an opponent to the energy line, which is very powerful, a very good ability, because now you're able to start applying pressure the second he comes out to the field. He comes out to the field, you push any character on your opponent's field, there's no restriction to this at all whatsoever, to the energy line, and now he's able to be a threat because 4k BP with impact is nothing to laugh at. It is a very good ability to have, therefore this Kenshin is going to come in clutch more often than you think, more often than not, so you definitely want to try to pick up your starter deck. But yeah, you're going to want to pick up the starter deck so that you can get these Kenshins to go with that deck. Next up is the next raid, and believe it or not, our next raid is another Kenshin. Okay, I'm done with that joke now. Now you know that this deck is all Kenshin. So, 4 energy, 1 action Kenshin during your turn, static. However, when he's attacking once per turn, you may place 1 card from your hand to the sideline to switch this character to active, giving him a makeshift double attack, which is very powerful. It's a very good ability, and oh, I hit my camera. It's very powerful, very good ability because he gets a makeshift double attack, and when he's played, he replaces himself. Therefore, you're not running out of cards when you're using this card to start really digging into your opponent's life and doing as much damage as you can as possible, especially when you get multiple of these on the field. This is a real threat to deal with, and not many people are going to know how to deal with this Kenshin once he hits the field. I mean, many people can with, the kill cards and stuff, but, we don't need to talk about that much. Next up, we have 1 energy, 1 action Kenshin. And this one, when you play it, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck to reveal up to 1 Kenshin card among them added to your hand, place the rest on the bottom. And if you add a card from your hand to this, from those cards to your hand, you have to place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. Now, this card, it's very good because the deck is entirely Kenshin outside of a couple cards. So you're going to be able to find whatever Kenshin you need whenever you play this card. Not to mention, he's another body on the field. He's another card that can raid on top of. This Kenshin is going to be very useful, very powerful for you. Next up, we have the 2 energy, 1 action Kenshin. And if you haven't guessed the theme already, we're running 4 ofs of every single Kenshin in the game because we can, and there's enough space for you to run 4 of every Kenshin in the game. So, 2 energy, 1 action Kenshin. On your turn, he loses 1k BP. And at a 2 energy, 4k BP character, I'm kind of thankful that he goes down by 1,000 on your turn, because otherwise this guy would be an absolute menace. However, there is a fun little technique with him that features a later card that pretty much you don't need to worry about that losing 1,000 BP. And we'll get into that when we get to that card. But, yeah, so this card, pretty good card, draw trigger. Love the draw triggers, I'm just saying, draw triggers are great. So, this Kenshin, pretty powerful, pretty useful, definitely good in the mid-range, or the mid-game of the game, because 2k BP, or 2 energy, and then being able to have a 4k BP character on the field, very powerful indeed. Next up, we have 3 energy, 1 action, the color trigger for Kenshin. And this one has nullify impact, so he is able to protect you from any impact that can be coming your way. Not to mention, when he's played, you can place a card from your hand into the sideline to switch him to active, which means he can instantly start swinging in at your opponent and start doing damage as quick as possible, especially at that 4k BP power. He is able to definitely start doing a lot of damage right off the bat, and it's beautiful. We love to see it. Now we're going to bring up the big boy card here that many people are going to be talking about, and this is also the last Kenshin that is in the deck. It is 4 energy, 2 action Kenshin Himura, and we're running 4 of them. It's the only 2 energy card in the deck, so it's pretty good. 2 energy? Did I say 2 energy or 2 action point? It's the only 2 action point card in the deck, so it balances out with us running 4 of him. So what this card does, he comes in active, which is amazing. For 2 action points, you better be, as we always say. But when played, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand to the sideline, which is wonderful. We love being able to look through the deck really quickly. However, on the main phase, if he's on the front line once per turn, you can place 1 Oath Not to Kill, which is of course the final card, from your sideline into the removal area. That means after you've already used it, or if it's already been placed into the sideline from your life, or from the top of your deck, or however it may get there, you place it from the sideline into the removal area, and if you do, you draw a card, and then all Kenshin cards gain or lose during your turn abilities, which includes the 2/1 Kenshins during your turn of losing 1k BP. That means for the turn, this Kenshin will be a 4k BP character that will completely kill your opponent. And of course, this 4/2 Kenshin is literally Kenshin when he has snapped and has embraced the Hitokiri Batosai side of himself. So you know that when this guy comes out, the person is no longer playing a Kenshin deck, they're playing a Hitokiri Batosai deck. So you want to be on the lookout, because now your cards are definitely out of threat, and you do not want to lose your precious cards because you made a foolish miscalculation and got Kenshin to act serious for the first time. Next up, we have Hiten mistsurugi-ryu. And this is, of course, Kenshin's signature fighting style. What this does is you pretty much, when you play it, you get to choose 1 character on your opponent's front line and switch it to resting, which is really good. It allows for a lot of attacks to go through if you need them to. So let's say you're going up against a Saitama, you can switch a Saitama to resting. If you're going up against a Bertholdt, you can switch that to resting. You can switch any card that's a main threat to resting, which is very useful. We love to see that because, hey, now my Kenshin's able to get through, now my Kenshin's able to do a lot of attacks and get a lot of damage through. We love to see it. But most importantly, the second ability is very similar to Blue Bleach with Ichigo. When this card is placed from your hand into the sideline by an ability on a red Kenshin Himura on your field, draw a card. So any card that says, any Kenshin card that says draw a card, place 1 card from hand to sideline, or any card that says, hey, if you play, you can place 1 card from hand to sideline to get this ability. So For example, the 4-2 Kenshin says draw a card and place one from your hand to the sideline. Because of that, you can place mistsurugi-ryu into your sideline in order to draw a card in order to replace that ability that you just had. Next thing, you have the 3-1 Kenshin here that says you can place a card from your hand to the sideline, and if you do, hey, guess what, friend? That's right, you get to draw a card off of that. And last but not least, this card. Once returned, you may place one card from your hand to the sideline, and if you do, switch this character to active. That is another ability where you will be able to get card draw off of it, and it's really beautiful. We love to see it. It's something that really helps make this deck a bit more consistent because you're not hindering yourself by discarding a card from your hand to the sideline. You are instead giving yourself more of a strength. And the next event card that we're going to be getting into is going to be Sakabato. That's right, it is this very sword that Kenshin uses himself. And we're only running 2 of this because I really wanted 4 Hiten Mitsurugi-Ryus, simply because those cards, you're going to be discarding cards a lot in this deck, so it's better to have the advantage to draw a card off of discarding a card that has almost no use to you, or that has a good flexibility use to you actually, or Sakabato, where you get to draw a card, then choose a Kenshin on your field that gains an ability of when they're attacking, you do get to draw a card. So cards like this 4-1 Raid Kenshin here will definitely get some really good benefits, because if you target this Kenshin with Sakabato, you pretty much get the ability to not only swing twice by discarding a card, but you get to swing once to draw a card and then swing again to draw another card, because it does not say once per turn. It does not gain when attacking once per turn draw a card. No, it says when attacking draw a card. So if this Kenshin can attack 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, you're going to draw 2, 3, 4, 5 cards off of Sakabato, which is a really good ability. And that whole thing of gaining an ability that doesn't say once per turn is very important for a future video that's going to be coming out. And I'm going to be talking about that very soon. But yeah, so that's going to be it for that card. And then we have our last 2 cards here, which are, of course, the special and the final. The special card being Ryutsuisen, which you get to choose a character with 5k or less BP on your opponent's front line and move it to the energy line. However, one of the great things is that if you have Kenshin on the field, you can instead place it on the bottom of the deck. So instead of you just lightly tapping their opponent and pushing it to the energy line with Kenshin on the field, which you will have with this deck, you get to place that card on the bottom of the deck instead, therefore completely ruining your opponent's game plan and what they may want or need to have happen, especially considering how a lot of these decks do require cards to be on the field in order to get big effects, such as the Rivals deck in Green, Blue, Black Clover, other decks like the Tree of Clifford deck in Purple, Black Clover. I could not think of the word, but yeah. And then last but not least, the final card, Oath Not to Kill. It's Kenshin's oath not to kill the opponent, so he's not going to kill you. But he is going to keep fighting. So yeah, that is the deck. Shout out to Kenshin. I'm so glad we got Kenshin in Union Arena now. I've been waiting for it since it got announced over in Japan, so I'm really happy we got our hands on it. Stay tuned because we are going to be doing more deck profiles on this. And yeah, thank you. And now you know why I call it Oops All Kenshin. So, what do we think, guys? Yay? Nay? Because it's stupid, and it's fun to do stuff like this. I don't know why. It just makes me really happy to do stuff like this. I really find this stuff very enjoyable. It's very fun. And yeah, so stay tuned because I have another deck that's kind of stupid, very similar to Kenshin, where it's a lot of one character. If you've seen the Kenshin breakdown, you know what deck it's going to be. And since I mentioned Kenshin, you know it's going to also be in the Kenshin franchise. So yeah, stay tuned because that video is going to be dropping very soon. And yeah, I hope you all guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned for that one. I've been D with DJR Union, and I will see you in the next one.